Hello everybody and welcome back to another reading vlog. I hope you guys are doing really well. I actually just finished filming the last scene of my last reading vlog, but I have just been enjoying so much sharing this part of the year with you guys and just doing weekly reading vlogs, so I'm just continuing with it. Let me know if you guys have been enjoying them. But at this time of the year, I always make it a tradition to read books that have come out during the calendar year that I've not gotten to. Really hyped up books that I've had on my TBR pile and for some reason just not made my way to them. And there is one this year that is just way far at the top, and I knew that I had to make a full dedicated reading vlog just to reading this book. And of course, by the title, you guys probably know what it is, but it is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I have never actually read anything by this author, but it had a lot of things that really just drew me in. So let me read the first paragraph of the synopsis for you guys. So it says, on a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Masur, please correct me if I'm pronouncing these names wrong, exits a subway car and sees, amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform, Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns and a game begins, a legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. These friends, intimate since childhood, borrow money, beg favors, and before even graduating college, they have created their first blockbuster, Ichigo. Overnight, the world is theirs. Not even 25 years old, Sam and Sadie are brilliant, successful, and rich, but these qualities won't protect them from their own creative ambitions or the betrayal of their hearts. It goes on to say that it follows these characters over several years, and I do tend to really love books where they start at the beginning of when two characters meet and then follow them throughout a large part of their life so you can see as they grow together. And I also like that this book sounds like it's going to walk the line a little bit between friendship and them being in a romantic relationship, so I'm not sure how that's going to be demonstrated here. I've never actually read a book about characters that are video game creators and don't know much about it myself. But this book has just been so widely loved this year and so hyped up that it only felt right that I really dedicate some time to it and see what I end up thinking of it. Otherwise, this week is going to be quite a busy week in my life because starting on Wednesday, I will be working in the intensive care unit. I always like working in the ICU because it's very fast paced and I always learn a lot, but with that, it always is also very emotionally taxing because of course you are seeing people at their sickest and seeing people die almost daily, and so I'm just kind of bracing myself for that. But that will start on Wednesday. I do have Monday and Tuesday to be a little bit more relaxed before I dive into a crazy 2 weeks in the intensive care unit. One other thing that we need to do before I dive into this reading vlog is of course open today's advent calendars because I have not yet done so. All right, so starting with my tea advent calendar, let's see here. Ooh, Earl Grey masala chai. Okay, this is made for me. I love Earl Grey tea. I always get London Fog lattes. It's like one of my favorite warm drinks to get, which is Earl Grey in a latte. And I do love chai, especially at this time of the year. Oh, that just smells divine. I am so excited to try this one. I think this is going to be my favorite one so far. And I will say I am absolutely loving this advent calendar. But my one slight issue with it is that it's not particularly holiday themed in terms of the teas. It is very much so in terms of the packaging, but I feel like the teas are just teas that you could have honestly at any time of the year. But yes, very excited about that one for today. And then let's see what is in the beauty advent calendar. All right, this box has some pretty like poinsettia. I don't remember how to say that. Ooh, it is a hand cream. So it is a hand cream, and let me see what it smells like. So far, I've been really impressed with the size of all the things in this Anthropologie advent calendar, and I feel like I've been using them and really been enjoying them. There was one last week that was a cinnamon mint lip balm, and it was really so lovely. Ooh, this smells so good. It smells like flowers and like just like you're running through a meadow. Oh, okay. I really love this and it feels so lovely on my hands. All right, so that is day 12 of my advent calendars. It is getting a little bit later at night, but I think I'm going to brew myself a nice cup of tea and start tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and see what I think of it. Nothing really planned for the rest of the evening, so I'm just gonna get very cozy and start this very much anticipated book. Tuesday and I'm popping in for my first reading update, and I'm filming from a space I don't think I've ever filmed from on my channel, which is our guest bedroom. This room has no windows, so if I'm filming here I'm not going to get any natural light, but it's dark outside, so I figured why the hell not. So here we are. This is Cat City. Gilbert has all of his stuff over here. Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cozy setup. But anyways, Tyler and I are going to be heading out to see another musical. We have been all about the plays and musicals this fall and winter season, and this time we are seeing Hamilton. I have never seen Hamilton. I've never watched the movie. I don't know what it's about other than Alexander Hamilton, but I'm so excited because this has been incredibly hyped up over the years between Tyler singing the songs in the car and friends that I really trust their opinion being obsessed with Hamilton. Everyone just seems to love it so much, and I don't know why I've been living under a rock for like 10 years now. I don't know. So we're gonna go there and we're gonna grab a bite to eat first with a couple of friends and then enjoy what will assuredly be a fantastic show. The shows are always great here, and so we're really excited. For the theater, I decided to dress up a little bit, so I put these earrings on from Madewell. They're just little hoop earrings, and then I have this giant sweater on from Cezanne. I love their knitwear. This is the Otis jumper and it's just so cozy and comfortable. And then I just have some black jeans, and I think I'll do some little like brown heeled boots to finish off the ensemble. But enough about all that. It's time to chat about tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Oh, I love this book so much. I tend to have a trend on my channel where one of the last books that I read, like one book I read in December, ends up on my best book of the year list. And I think that this is probably going to be it this year. It is just so fantastic. So this is a sweeping coming of age story of two characters, Sam and Sadie. And I was actually listening to an interview with Gabrielle Zevin, the author, and she was talking about how she wanted to set a book that was the coming of age for both the characters, but also they were at the coming of age point of an industry. And so they're both really passionate about gaming, and they're game creators at the time when video games are kind of starting to come onto the scene. Like we have the Pac-Man and the Donkey Kong, but the games that have a story and the games with more detailed graphics are just starting out, and they are kind of at the birth of that. I just thought that was such an interesting approach and such an interesting idea for a book. So the book starts at a train station, and we meet Sam, who is this petite college kid who goes to Harvard, and he's wearing this giant gray coat. And I think it's just such a perfect image for the beginning of the book. You just really visualize it, and it becomes so memorable and iconic for this book. But anyways, he's at this train station in Boston, and it's very bustling and busy, and he sees through the crowd Sadie, who is someone that he knew growing up when he lived in Los Angeles, and they both had kind of a meeting in an unlikely place. They were both in a hospital, Sam because he had injuries, and Sadie was there for her sister who was being treated for leukemia, and they met in this game room and started to play, I believe it was Mario, together. And little does Sadie know, Sam has actually not talked to anybody when they first meet when they're kids for like 6 months, 6 weeks, I can't remember, a long time. And this experience of playing the game together just brings him out of his shell. And so because of that, there's always been this kind of closeness together, and they've been running on parallel lines. And they used to be really close, but now they've just diverged a bit. But regardless, she's one of those people that whenever Sam sees her, he just has to yell out to her and make that connection and make their lines meet again. And it seems almost fated. There's this beautiful scene where Sam is describing this kind of meet cute, if you will. Not that they're like in a romantic relationship at this point, but I kind of think of it as this like fateful meeting. And it says, Sadie finished staring at whatever the crowd was staring at, and now she was walking towards the inbound Red Line train. Sam called her name, Sadie. In addition to the rumble of the incoming train, the station was roaring with the usual humanity. A teenage girl playing Penguin Cafe Orchestra on a cello for tips. A man with a clipboard asked passers-by if they could spare a moment for Muslim refugees in Srebrenica. Adjacent to Sadie was a stand selling $6 fruit shakes. The blender had begun to whirl, diffusing the scent of citrus and strawberries through the musty subterranean air, just as Sam had first called her name. Sadie Green, he called out again. Still, she didn't hear him. He quickened his pace as much as he could. When he walked quickly, he counterintuitively felt like a person in a three-legged race. Sadie, Sadie, he felt foolish. Sadie Miranda Green, you have died of dysentery, which is a joke between them. Finally, she turned, and that's kind of their reunion. I just love that chaos, but he's just fighting through it, trying to reunite with her. Now, I personally do not really care too much about video games. I never played many video games growing up other than Pokemon on my brother's old Nintendo Game Boy Color, but that's about it, honestly. But I can't tell you how invested I am in the dynamics of them building this game together and them discovering ways to tell their story, to find new graphics. It's just so all-encompassing and really engaging to read. You kind of have the sense as a reader that you want this idea that they have of the game Ichigo, which is about a small child who gets washed out to sea and is trying throughout the game to find their way back home. You want this idea to kind of stay safe with them, but as they move on throughout the story, they have to bring other people in to realize this dream and to make it what it needs to be. And so they bring in Marks, who is this handsome college student also at Harvard, who's really passionate about theater, but whose father is a businessman and doesn't really see this as his career path, as well as Dov, I'm not sure how to say his name, but he was a teacher in one of Sadie's gaming seminars. And so it starts this really interesting like love quadrangle / power dynamic of all of these people having different things that they're trying to get out of it. But at the heart, you're just rooting for this game to be realized in the way that Sam and Sadie want for it to be. So far, one of the things that has stood out to me so much is how real these characters seem. I've caught myself not once, but twice, Googling them to see how things turn out for them, but Googling them as real people, because the way that they're written, they truly feel like real people, not just characters in a novel. I think that it's just written in a way so that you just feel for them. You know, I see myself in a lot of things that are portrayed in the book, Sadie being in an extremely male-dominated field at MIT, which is a very male-dominated school at the time that she goes there, and Sam just at the beginning of the book is a math major and he's not passionate about it, and kind of finding your passion. I think there's so many things that you can see yourself in with these characters, and it's just so fun and such a treat to read. I have not been captivated by a story in such a long time, one of these sweeping narratives that just draws you in. So I'm really excited to read a bit more of this. I'm on page 135 out of close to 400, so I have quite a bit left to go. And I've been really enjoying reading this at different coffee shops. I think it's been the perfect way, with some jazz in my earbuds, the perfect way to experience this wonderful story. But with that, I can hear Tyler rustling, which means it's time to go to the theater to watch Hamilton. So I will catch up with you guys with my next reading update and, of course, my opinions of Hamilton in the next clip. So it is currently Wednesday, and as expected, my time in the ICU really kind of made it difficult for me to finish up tomorrow and tomorrow, but I have had a few days off for Christmas, and so I did have some time to finish up this wonderful book. So I wanted to wrap up this vlog and wrap up all of my thoughts of reading this one. But before I get into my thoughts, this was a hard week. I saw a lot of really sad things, particularly at this time of the year. And while I, felt the joy of the holiday season, being surrounded by really sick people in the most tragic and sad moments of their lives just made the end of the year kind of harder for me. And in the holiday season, a little bit, I wouldn't say more sad, but just reminded me more of, the hardships that people go through at this time of the year as well. And so while this reading vlog was a bit separated into two halves, if you will, I did still really enjoy the moments that I got to spend reading this book, even if it was a bit divided with my crazy week in the intensive care unit. But I did finish this on the couch this morning, and I just really loved it. I almost thought of 5 stars, but I think I'm going with a 4.5 stars. It is such a sweeping story about friendship, about a creative partnership. And I wanted to share a particular quote that actually is the quote that gives the book its name. And Sadie and Sam are talking at this point, and they're talking about potentially making a new game. So Sadie says, "Do you have any ideas that aren't from Shakespeare?" Sadie said. To make his case, Marx jumped up on a kitchen chair and recited the Tomorrow speech for them, which he knew by heart. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools. The way to dusty death, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And then it says, "That's bleak," Sadie said. "Why start a game company? Let's go kill ourselves," Sam joked. "Also," Sadie said, "what does any of that have to do with games? Isn't it obvious?" Mark said. It was not obvious to Sam or Sadie. "What is a game?" Mark said. "It's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. It's a possibility of infinite rebirth, infinite redemption. The idea that if you keep playing, you could win. No loss is permanent because nothing is permanent ever." "Nice try, handsome," Sadie said. "Next." And I think it really kind of exemplifies the stages of their partnership. They go from one game and the roaring success of that to the next one, and the unexpected failures, and then back to another success. And I really feel like it shows almost like this video game nature to their story, the stopping and starting, but also the ways in that life, of course, is not this infinite journey. So yeah, that was a bit of a rambling wrap up, but overall, I really, really did love this book so, so much. And overall, I think it just told the most wonderful, well-paced, thoughtful story in which the author picked up some characters and let them guide her to where they went, rather than the author forcing the characters to be people that they weren't. And yeah, it was just a wonderful, wonderful way to experience the Christmas season. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this vlog here. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my thoughts of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and do let me know in the comments down below if you guys have read it and what you thought of it. And with that, I will see you guys very soon with another video. Bye.